just you and I.
How's it going, guys? Public Safety Network here. Decided to do a video today on trainings and certifications. I have been putting out a lot more videos lately because I've been getting a lot more ideas from different sources about things people want to see. And one of the repeated topics that I get is about types of trainings and even certifications people can get. Now, when I'm talking about trainings and certifications, I'm not necessarily talking about licensing. In most states, you need a license to act in a capacity to perform security duties. And that's usually the very minimum that you need in order to perform security as a means of employment. In other states, you need licenses to be able to carry certain types of defensive weapons, OC spray, baton, taser, things like that. In my state, the only, I think, additional certification you need to carry is you need a certification to carry a taser. Other than that, I think everything else just needs documented training. But the reason I bring this up is because certifications are important, but also trainings that may not lead to certifications are also important. Certifications are great if you want to put them on your resume. They can be a real resume booster if they've seen that, he's taking courses in this, this, and this. I have a few certifications on my resume, including one in tactical medicine from the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center. So that's actually probably one of my more prestigious ones that I have that I really, enjoy putting on the resume. But also training in itself is very important. And there's different types of training. There's educational training. There's more professional style training where you go to like a course taught by an instructor or some type of academy. And then there's obviously individual trainings, such as going out to the range and practicing firearms drills. Maybe you want to learn how to perform self-defense, so you maybe go take Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or Muay Thai on your own time. That's considered training. But when I mention training, I'm talking about job-specific training, learning certain subsets of skills that will help you perform your job better. And I'll take an example. There's, I think, 2 companies where I live that they have classes that you can take in certain subject matter that usually they're for law enforcement, but they can also help security personnel as well, that just make you better at your job. And one of them is called what is the course called? It's called Patrol Tactics. And basically what it does is it's a course that teaches you how to deploy things like firearms or even engage suspects while out on patrol, specifically also in a patrol vehicle. That course is very good if you're obviously if you're a police officer, but also if you're a mobile patrol where you drive a vehicle around, maybe it's just around a property around, or even to multiple sites. And courses like these can help you be able to perform your job duties more efficiently and more safe. There's another security company that actually is here that runs their own kind of like small training academy. Other companies will send them here to get certifications, and obviously things like handcuffing, baton, defensive tactics, taser, but then they also run other courses, things like low light, no lights, and a variety of firearms trainings in real life scenarios where maybe you necessarily wouldn't expect to have to draw your firearm, or maybe being caught off guard. All of these things kind of tie together into making you more efficient and also making you more packageable. If you ever decide that you want to maybe promote, or you see maybe a higher end security job that you want to apply for, having these documented trainings and certifications are only going to boost you when you decide you're going to go to the interview, and show them the fact that you have the skill sets that you need in order to perform the job. Now, where I'm going to get a little side topic here is be very, very careful about this type of training and certification classes that you take. A story of mine, a buddy of mine decided he was going to go to an active shooter training. Well, he was the only one who showed up, and even through the course of the training, it was very apparent that the instructor really did not know what he was talking about. That the skill set that he claimed to have, he most likely did not, or he embellished it in some way to make it seem like that he was more of a professional or knowledgeable in the field than he actually was. And I'm going to take and reverse that, is that where I work, we annually, I think at least in the last 2 years or so, we do active shooter training with the FBI. And the FBI will send someone from the local field office down, and they'll train our armed guys and then our police department on how to basically, as a group, engage an active shooter or mass killer situation. Now, you're fairly certain that when you get a government law enforcement agency coming down to teach you these tactics, that you really don't have to question their credentials on the matter. I mean, that's one of the things about working with government agencies is that they tend to know what they're talking about before they go out and start teaching this to other agencies themselves. Now, again, don't take everything they say as gospel, but I tend to find that a little more credible than some Joe Schmo that posts an ad on Craigslist or Facebook saying that he's teaching all of these advanced courses in a variety of subject matter. And we've seen this a lot with the boom of the tactical industry, especially the tactical firearms industry. Schools popping up, guaranteeing to teach you, these combat tactics that they teach Delta Force and Navy SEALs and stuff. So when you're going to look for new training courses or even new certifications, look at who is certifying this person for teaching this course. Now, there's a lot of agencies out there, either government agencies or nonprofit agencies, that will certify instructors for certain types of training. And where I'm at, you can receive firearms instructor certification from 2 different sources. Obviously, you have the NRA, or the National Rifle Association, and they obviously have a whole variety of courses on firearms, including becoming an instructor. And then also our state police agency also will certify firearms instructors as well. And so looking at instructors, if I see if they really don't have either of these types of certifications or backings, I'm going to question the validity of what they're teaching me. Again, I'm not outright discounting their experience, but knowing that they have some form of verification or regulation on kind of that their skill set is what they say it is, and that their knowledge is as good as they say it is, that's probably one of the most important things. Now, obviously, some skills you can't necessarily, there isn't an association or an agency that kind of governs who can and cannot teach these types of skills. But just be very wary, guys. Do your research. You see a lot of these instructors that make these very bold claims that they did this or they did that, and that they have real world experience, and then it comes out later that they didn't actually do any of these things, or, as I mentioned in previous videos, they embellish the things that they actually did. And so when you're going to look at courses, just be very vigilant, do your research, question things if you feel that you maybe being fed a line or getting some BS, and just go based off your own knowledge and what you're comfortable with, guys. No one's expecting security guards to be a SWAT team that's going to go in to save the day during a mass killer situation, but there's nothing wrong with developing skill sets to make you more efficient at your jobs, and just make you an overall better guard. I mean, we see security all the time that want better pay, more respect, better working conditions. Not so much the basics, but they want to be put on this kind of pedestal, similar to what law enforcement is. And in order to do that, guys, we have to up our standards. I mean, I was talking to a guy I know last night about how security guards here didn't get as much respect as the police, or that they got paid a lot less than the police. And I'm like, well, it's all a matter of basically the quality. You know, security guards here, to be an armed security guard, I think you only need 16 hours of training and then 8 hours annually. I mean, police officers alone, when they're going through the academy, I mean, get about 550 hours of training. I mean, that alone in itself blows any security guard out of the way, and that's why they get paid more, guys. They're paid because there are only certain things that police officers can do, and now they're getting paid to do them. But that's all I really have for you guys today. Go ahead and comment below if you've got any certifications that are fairly unusual or odd, and go ahead and like, subscribe, and talk to you later, guys.